Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back officially for our bracket reveal. March Madness is upon us here, and actually currently as the while we're having this, the play-in games are occurring right now. I'm not sure who's winning between Iowa and Wyoming. But regardless, we're going to jump into the field of soon to be 64. Each kind of give our picks, and the way it's going to work is all three of us we're going to make our picks on each game, obviously. But we're going to prioritize, like I'll pick one game, and then Evan will essentially start the next game and give his opinion. We have the ability to second that opinion or challenge it, but essentially we're just going to rotate between the three of us and go game by game through these first rounds. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and, Ev, you got to allow me to share screen?
Oh, technical difficulties. All
right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
And while you do that, should we caveat if it's not obvious? I have not watched a lick of college basketball until like the last week. I think Sire in a similar boat. Zach, obviously.
I have a little bit more over the last month. I usually start tuning in over February. I watch random games throughout the season, but without a team that was likely to make the tournament this year, it was more pick and choose. But the last month, that's always my approach. I always like to have some sort of good knowledge base coming into bracketology, at least for the teams that I want to pick to win it all. So yeah.
So Zach's definitely a resident expert. My bracket is 100% numbers based, but let's ride it out. Let's see how it goes. Kick us off, Zach.
Ev, I'm not going to lie, in our bracket, I've kind of copied your name. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but on the ZMAR rankings this year. So last year I ran a couple algorithms that made no sense whatsoever, and my bracket was absolutely terrible. But at least I filled out a bracket last year because our boy Kuna completely forgot, got sidetracked, and filled out either half of his bracket or none of his bracket. I can't remember.
No, what happened was I filled out my bracket, and actually – it was submitted for other leagues, but the big money one, which was Zebo's league, the bracket I filled out, I had Michigan State in my Final Four, I think, in every single one of my brackets. And as Zach knows, because him and I watched the game together in my basement the night before, Michigan State lost in a very close game to UCLA at the very end of the game on like a one-score possession. And I ended up like having to change my bracket around in Zach's league, and for whatever reason, it didn't maybe I didn't hit submit or whatever.
But we'll get to it. And by the way, if you want to follow the Mondays Down South bracket, we'll be kind of posting updates with how we do and the trajectory of the field in my bracket. And also, if you want to join my bracket, just let me know. Shoot me a text, and we'll get you on. But okay, going ahead, we're gonna start here in the West Division. Let me go ahead and bump this up a little bit for our viewers. I'll go ahead and take the easy one here. Gonzaga's playing Georgia State. We're going to go with Gonzaga. I don't believe anyone's going to challenge me. So, Ev, you're up. Sai, you'll go after, and then we'll just keep rotating here.
Yeah, interesting 8-9 matchup. I have Memphis in this one. Again, I don't have much reasoning, but I'm going Memphis.
Interesting. I do actually lean a little bit in the Boise State direction in that one. However, I don't have a strong dispute either way, so I'm not going to. For the next one, this one will probably be a point of contention for us because
Zach, who do you got? I do want to get everyone's picks on each one for matrix purposes.
Oh, I'm going Memphis. Memphis is a bunch of unbelievably athletic prodigies, but they don't play well together. They turn the ball over a lot, but they've got a ton of NBA recruits, first, second round guys. Boise has got no NBA recruits, but they've played years and years together. So a little bit more of a veteran presence. I got Memphis just because of the athleticism.
And I take Boise State for literally the opposite reason. I like a team coming in the first round that isn't going to be chaotic. It's hard for me to trust a team that's chaotic. Next game, Connecticut versus New Mexico State. Classic 12-5. I believe New Mexico State has been a 12 seed in the past and has caused some ruckus. With that being said, though, I want to pick New Mexico State, but I'm actually going to roll UConn. UConn looks pretty decent this year, especially coming into the tournament. So I'm not gonna go with the dramatic pick here. I'm rolling UConn.
Agreed. I like UConn. Solid squad.
Me as well. UConn, all three. Ev kicking it over. Oh, I guess this is back to me here. Okay, we got the 4 seed Arkansas going up against Vermont. Really interested in this game. Vermont drains the 3 ball, and they've won 17 of their last 18, and their one loss was in overtime. So, losing is not in their repertoire. However, I will say for Arkansas, they're just freakishly athletic, great guard play. Don't shoot the ball super well, but I'm going to lean Arkansas just because of the athleticism again.
This is one where the data disagreed for me, and I need to, I'm still ironing out the kinks. But actually picked Vermont, similar to matchup to where Colgate almost beat Arkansas in the first round last year. Similar stylistic matchup, but I am gonna go Arkansas as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll my SEC boys, Arkansas.
All right, Ev.
All right, we got a play-in matchup here. We got Alabama facing the winner of Rutgers and Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame using the 3 ball to their advantage, winning the playing game, and then beating Alabama, actually.
Ironically enough, I believe Rutgers is going to win the play-in game, and then they're going to beat Alabama and then in advance. So I have Rutgers beating Alabama. However, we'll see what happens when.
I do have either
updates. Right.
I do have either of them beating Alabama. Yeah. So if Rutgers wins, I actually think they beat Alabama as well. Zach, do you have them too?
For different reasons. I love it. Alabama plays really, they play up to their competition and play down. They've had some good wins. I believe they even knocked off Gonzaga this year, but they do have some head scratching losses. So I'm gonna agree with you guys. I'm gonna go with Rutgers or Notre Dame here, depending on who wins.
Wow.
All right. Oh, I guess it's you here.
All righty. Well, actually, can I let somebody else go first because the next matchup is more important.
All right. All right. Texas Tech will beat Montana State. That's
easy.
Yeah, I'm good with that one.
All right, you're up, Kuna.
All right, I'm good with that one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pick Michigan State over Davidson. I know Zach was just making a point about some of that Michigan State, but I actually believe Michigan State, especially coming into the tournament and they're playing the Big Ten tournament with a very close loss to Purdue after some pretty big wins previously, is coming into the bracket. Teed up for Izzo's success. Often when they're a high seed, they tend to surprise people in the sense of not progressing us further. But I've also noticed that when they're a lower seed coming in with some momentum, they're also the team that you can pick to make some big plays. So I'm taking Michigan State in this one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I got vetoed here, but I've got Davidson, not just because they're about 20 miles north of me, but because they can shoot the tray ball like no other. This is one of the best teams that they put together since the Steph Curry era back in 2008. And Michigan State they struggle to score the ball, but alas, this is the MDS bracket, so we go that direction. All right, moving on. I don't really think we need to spend too much time on this. Duke's kind of a young roster. They struggled a little bit late, but I've got them over CSU Fullerton.
No disputes there. Although, wow, what a legacy it would be for Krzyzewski to lose that game in the first round. But I think Duke will pull it out.
We carried through the West, or what? Are we doing the first round altogether, or are we gonna go?
Yeah, let's just knock it out. Like we'll just pick like the final 4, and then.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
Y'all think so? Okay, works for me.
Works for me. Gonzaga, Memphis. Boy, it's gonna be tough to beat Gonzaga. Gonzaga here.
Zags for me. Si?
Yeah, Zags. It's not even a question for me.
I hope so, because you were leading Boise State the first time around.
No, not Boise State over Zaga. I said Boise State. And one. I was gonna pick Boise State over Zaga. Am I crazy?
All right. You got UConn and Arkansas, Kuna.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead with. Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna roll my SEC boys. Arkansas. Overarchingly, the SEC conference has been good, and Arkansas has been a staple. They've had some big blowout wins against Kentucky as well as several other teams in the SEC. So I'm gonna roll Arkansas on this one.
Okay, UConn.
I've got Arkansas. I think UConn, they've got great bigs down low, but they've kind of just struggled. They kind of they lose close games too, pretty frequently. So I'm gonna go Arkansas as well. Jumping onto this next game here, we've got the winner of Rutgers and Notre Dame playing against Texas Tech. For me personally, I would love to keep this upset going, but Texas Tech is just way too good defensively. They brought in a couple transfers to help with their scoring, which was a huge problem last season. So I've got TTU here.
Yep, agreed.
No, I mean, I'm not even gonna. I don't even have a reason not to agree with that. Texas Tech is just such a good has been such a good program over the last couple of years. And I just believe that they're just more comfortably built. So I'm going to go Texas Tech.
We'll move on here down to Michigan State and Duke. Izzo, Coach K, should be a whole lot of fun. Could give Duke some problems, but I'm going to say Duke gets it done here.
We know.
Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm going to go Duke as well.
I figured my pick wouldn't matter, but I'm going to go with Michigan State. The last time Michigan State and Duke played in a tournament, Michigan State ended up in the Final Four and beat Duke. It seems like a very good situation for Michigan State to be in a position to make an upset. So I'm going to take Michigan State.
All right, switching on over here to this Sweet 16 matchup between the Zags and the Razorbacks here. I think this could be a close game for a while. I think it's going to be super high scoring, but Gonzaga pulls away in the second half. And I just think it's because of Timmy, the mustache man himself, and Chet, who's their 7-foot prodigy who can just rain it from three. So I've got Gonzaga here.
Yep, Gonzaga. Chet scares me with how thin he is. It almost looks unhealthy, dude.
Yeah, he's got to get that checked.
Yeah, I'm going to go Zaga.
I'm going to Zaga. He's got to get that checked. I feel like he's gotten that checked several times, but it still doesn't look right. But moving down, I'll kick this one off. We got Duke and Texas Tech. This should be a really tough matchup. I think Texas Tech's going to give Duke a lot of problems. I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. I do have Duke, though. I think the talent's going to play, and they're going to move on to face the Zags in a rematch.
So what do you got?
I do have Michigan State winning this game, but since they're not in this bracket, I'm gonna go with Duke if it's Duke Texas Tech.
Yeah, I want to pick Texas Tech here just because I feel like we need to have some type of upset somewhere. But Duke's just offensive juggernaut. Paulo Banchero, Wendell Carter, the rest of the group. I just think they're going to be too much. So, all right, we'll pick the final game here and move on to another one. I guess it's my turn here. I've got Gonzaga beating Duke. These two teams played each other earlier in the season. It was just a shootout. Neither team could stop each other. Gonzaga actually fell short. I think they get their redemption here. So I've got the Zags.
Yeah, it's really hard to pick against the Zags, but the Evmore rankings like Duke a lot this year, which maybe leans a little too much to their early season performance, given that they've struggled more lately. But they have Duke beating Gonzaga for a second time this year, onto the Final Four in the Evmore rankings.
Interesting.
Cy, break the tie.
So I have Michigan State in my Final Four. I'm just messing with you guys. I'm not actually messing with you guys. It's very likely I might do that. However, for the sake of this conversation, I'm going Gonzaga over Duke.
Sounds good. All right, we'll move on to what is it? I think it's the Midwest. Oh, the East Division. Here we go. All right, so we've got Baylor, Norfolk State. I think we can kind of move forward here. Baylor does have a couple of injuries, but I just don't think it's going to be a concern at this point in the game.
Yeah, Cy, do you want to take the next one away? I'm frivolously writing down the games to track for our matrix here.
Yep, I'm taking UNC. I have UNC beating Marquette.
I do as well.
UNC's been hot. I want to state that. And they I know Virginia Tech gave them the L in the ACC, but they picked up their play over recent times, and they do have a pretty good roster. So I actually like them in this tournament.
All right. Well, moving forward here, maybe Ev, we can kind of take over this while you're writing some of this stuff down. We've got St. Mary's playing the winner of Wyoming and IU. I'm not sure does anyone have a score update?
I'll pull it up.
While you're doing that,
Tied.
I think both of these teams are more than capable of beating St. Mary's.
Yeah, I have it split. If Indiana wins, it's a 13-13 tie in the first half right now. If Indiana wins, I have them beating the Marys, or the Gales, as it were. But if Wyoming does, I'm going to say they don't. So
I'm going to roll with I actually think I would pick Wyoming if Wyoming won the playing game. However, I'm going to roll with St. Mary's just with the lack of information that we have right now in the sense of who's going to win that playing game.
And did you pick St. Mary's too?
I think Indiana's going to win and then beat St. Mary's, so that should probably be my pick. Is the upset.
Gotcha. All right, Kuna, kick us off here.
You talking UCLA Akron?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was your turn, but I'll go ahead. I'm going to.
I've got UCLA. The next matchup over there underneath.
Oh, my fault. What am I doing? Yeah. I'm going UCLA.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a great basketball team all around. We all kind of remember their infamous tourney run last season, and they maintained literally every player. So That's going to be interesting. All right, kicking it off. This is another very interesting game. All bias aside, well, as much as I can do. Number 6 seed Texas playing against 11 seed Virginia Tech. Jay Billis had put this perfectly. You could literally switch the seeds and no one would be surprised. So right now the odds are -1 Texas's way from a betting standpoint. I'm going to go ahead and select Virginia Tech here. Strictly because we're shooting red hot. Texas has got a bunch of athletes, but they really struggle to score the ball, and they've lost 3 in a row, albeit to good teams. So I'm going to go VT here.
I'm going to go VT as well. I was feeling real good about VT after their performance in the ACC tournament, and they've clearly proven that they have the potential to beat better teams, and I think Texas really isn't a better team. I think, actually, given the fact that y'all won the ACC tournament, that Virginia Tech was actually a little bit underseeded. So it seems like a good opportunity to take the 11 over the 6.
Agreed. 3 for 3.
Oh, wow. That's what the Evmar ranks said as well. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yes, let's see. All right, moving on to the next one here. We got Purdue playing at Yale. I think we can kind of make this one pretty quick. I've got Purdue all the way.
Yeah, I'm going to go Purdue.
I'll take the next one. We got a fun little matchup here of some mid-major schools. We got Murray State and the San Francisco Dons. San Francisco, I didn't realize, but they're actually really high in KenPom. They're like top 25 in KenPom.
Mm-hmm.
Murray State is a little lower, but they're top 30 as well. But I have Murray State here.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take San Francisco here. I like San Francisco's potential from everything I've been looking into and reading. And I'm not going to pretend like I watched a lot of Murray State or San Francisco games, but just from what I'm understanding, they seem to have a pretty good roster that's pretty underrated just given the circumstance. I think Murray State gets the higher seed, honestly, just because they've been in the tournament before and because of people like Ja. But I actually think San Francisco, it wouldn't be surprising if they were the better team. So I'm going to go San Francisco.
It's a good point. I think also just Murray State's 30-2 record is intimidating on its own, despite, kind of the lack of competition. But I'm going to actually lean San Francisco here too. I think the caveat here is the guard play up front for San Francisco. They not only shoot lights out there, but they're able to cause a ton of turnovers. And I believe they're top 10 in KenPom in creating those turnovers. So I think a team like Murray State, which is normally accustomed to winning, is going to find themselves in a pretty close game. And I can see San Fran coming out on top. But I'll take the next one here. UK playing against St. Peter's. Pretty sure we're all kind of Kentucky here under
Kentucky.
Yep.
I got a little bit more upsets in this one. Sai, kick us off with this 1-8 matchup here.
I got Chapel Hill.
I think UNC could give Baylor a lot of problems, but I got Baylor pulling it out.
Sai, if you remember last year when we did this, these two teams were scheduled to play each other with these same seeds, but
UNC didn't get there.
Lost to Wisconsin, and we both picked UNC. And you know what? I'm going to do it again. I think with the injuries to Baylor, and plus you got the scoring ability of Caleb Love and Armando Bacot for UNC. I think it's just going to be a two-headed tandem that Baylor cannot mitigate. So I've got the Chapel Hill, or I've got UNC Tar Heels as well.
And I do want to give a shout out to my boy Muskan, and his actual name Munhas, because there's a decent chance me, him, and Ev will be watching that game together, and he'll probably be like, "Why did you pick UNC?" So just throwing it out there up front. So we'll keep the bar on.
Yeah, y'all were super bullish on them beating Wisconsin last year, but UCLA, Wyoming, or Indiana. I have UCLA here no matter what happens, even if it's Mary's or whatever.
Me too.
Agreed. All right, I'll take this next matchup here. Virginia Tech playing against Purdue. Oh gosh, this is tough because I love my team so much, but I think this is where the journey ends, and the reason it ends here is because Purdue's big guys down low, plus the incredible playmaking ability of Jaden Ivey, who's personally my favorite player in the league this year. He's not the best, but he's close. I'd say he's top 5-10. So I just think Purdue is going to be too hard to beat on the boards and just too much man for Virginia Tech here.
Yeah, it's a tempting opportunity to put a double-digit seed into the Sweet 16, as there always is, but now Purdue.
I'm taking Purdue. This isn't even a question for me. And I mean that with no offense to Virginia Tech. Purdue's just been consistently good all season in a really good conference. So can't take that away from them.
Kentucky, San Francisco. Any Anyone pushing the Dons to the Sweet 16?
UK.
I am not.
Yep, I'm going to say
UK.
UK steals that one. But we've got some interesting matchups here in this Sweet 16 portion of the bracket, including our first 1 seed going down. I can take this one here, UNC playing against UCLA. Personally, if this matchup happens, I'm going to be very interested in this. I just think UCLA has too many weapons for UNC. I think this will be closer than people think, high scoring as well. But if this were to come into fruition, I've got UCLA.
Yeah, I got UCLA as well.
I have them beating Baylor here, so I'm definitely down with them beating UNC. Purdue, Kentucky, interesting matchup here. I have Kentucky riding it out here. I think Kentucky is a really solid squad, poised for a little more veteran than their typical team. So I have them beating Purdue.
I've got Purdue. So, Cy, you're the difference maker here.
I'm going to avoid the drama on my side. Kentucky's my Final Four team. I'm taking Kentucky.
Okay. All right. Purdue's road ends as well. That was a little bit tougher of that portion. I feel like the East is a lot harder to figure out than the West was.
You got to push Kentucky through, my guy.
Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. I was about to say, so we have UCLA, Kentucky. You guys are both going Kentucky's way?
Yes, sir.
I am going to personally go UCLA's way. So jot that one down, but we'll push Kentucky to the Final Four.
So
I like how we did that bracket, boys. That was good.
So Zach, question for you. Did you have UCLA versus Purdue and then UCLA beating Purdue? Or would you have picked Purdue if you had Purdue in the playing UCLA?
Man, I keep going back and forth on it. Those are my 2 Elite 8 teams. And I feel pretty confident about both of them as well. I would probably say Purdue in one league, and then I would go UCLA in another. That's how indecisive I am, but not Kentucky. I don't have Kentucky going out of that bracket at all.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So switching over to the South, we've got Arizona playing against Wrights State. Let's just go ahead and push the forward on the Arizona there.
Seton Hall, TCU, interesting little 8-9 here. I've got Seton Hall coming out of this one.
I'm a little bit more in favor of TCU on this one, so I'm gonna go with TCU.
I'm gonna go Seton Hall. They've knocked off some good teams this season. Hopefully they make a name for the Big East, which is quickly dissipating in people's respect and value. So, hopefully they're able to hold that up high. We got Houston, UAB. Interesting matchup here. They've got so UAB has a player named Jelly on it, and he just rains threes. He averages like 27 points a game, and he's 5'11". So that's kind of impressive. But the problem is Houston's notoriously one of the tallest teams in college basketball. So I've got Houston here just because I think they're going to put the pressure on.
Yeah, Houston's a solid squad. They actually played really well in the tournament last year, even though usually this conference is a big disappointment and they're just all rock fighting teams. Like it's usually Cincinnati as well. It's just like they turn it into a rock fight and they can never score. But Houston, excuse me, for sure.
Dude, that's the thing, right? Houston is such a question mark for me because clearly they have potential to be one of the nation's best. As a matter of fact, they're projected to be, I think, earlier in the season, given the talent that they have. But then, they've just been so inconsistent, in my opinion, and they're just such a hard one to predict. Whereas UAB seems like a team that plays above what people realize. And even though picking the 12 over the 5 is a upset pick or is a popular pick, I actually lean UAB because I don't trust Houston. So I'm gonna go UAB. I mean, not that it mattered in the grand scheme of things in the sense of what happens with our bracket, but I think UAB's got a good shot here.
Very good. Move on to the 4-13. Oh, sorry. I'm not paying attention to the order here. We're just jumping around, but
I keep forgetting too. Yeah.
Illinois, Chattanooga. The MR rankings love a good 13/4 upset. They actually outright picked 3 of them, and this is one of them. I got Chattanooga over Illinois. It's tough to pick against how much talent Illinois has. But they just really have not been playing well. And Chattanooga is a good squad. So,
yeah, I'm gonna go Illinois.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to redo those EVMAR rankings because there's already a displacement in the data. But I'm gonna go with Kofi Cockburn there in the squad. Good guard play as well. I think Illinois is going to be a surprising team in this tournament this year. They weren't last. I think they were the 1 seed last year. But I think as a 4, they could do some damage. But moving on here, we got Colorado State playing against 11 seed Michigan. I'm actually going to go Michigan here. I know their record really doesn't prove anything, but they've got a really star player at power forward center there who's really agile. And I think Colorado State is they're going to come out slow because they're not normally used to Big Ten talent. So I've got Michigan from a competition standpoint.
Yeah, I'm taking Michigan as well.
I have Colorado State. This does feel like the classic, though. We make fun of a team that didn't really belong in the tournament, and then they go on a run like Syracuse always does. We're like, well, how did Syracuse get in? And then they beat a couple teams. So I do have Colorado State, but that's just me trusting my data.
All right, Kuna, what do you got here?
Tennessee, SEC.
Yep.
Brian Jones would disagree, being a Longwood alum. I'm surprised I didn't have to remind him that they actually got into the tournament. He somehow knew. They had this a big pep rally at school, and it looked like a Stonebridge High School gym. But hey, Longwood's in the tournament, but it's going to be an early exit, in my opinion. This is an interesting matchup here. Ohio State playing at Loyola Chicago. Pretty mixed. Loyola's got, a lot of seniority there, an aging team there that's played together for multiple years. But Ohio State is raw talent. They've got this like a McDonald's All-American player at point guard, freshman guy. And then they've got Liddell, who's more of a veteran presence, top 10 player in the league. It's kind of tough depending on which way you go. I'm personally going to lean Ohio State here.
I got Loyola Chicago.
I never pick against Sister Jean, so Loyola Chicago. Plus, Ohio State always chokes.
Yeah, I don't trust Ohio State in the tournament. I'm taking Loyola Chicago. They've multiple years they've come in there and proved that their prowess for beating teams of bigger conferences and showing up, and I expect them to do it again.
I'm assuming we all have Villanova going as well. So
the CAA board. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
No, I'm taking Villanova.
Zona, no problem.
Yeah. All right, so I kick this one off for.
We're starting with Arizona TCU here, or Arizona Seton Hall.
Houston, Illinois.
Oh, my apologies. Did I miss one?
We kind of just breezed through Zona.
Oh, okay, my fault. I'm gonna go ahead with Illinois. I like Illinois a little more on this one. I didn't even have Houston winning the first round, so not picking them over Illinois.
I have Houston.
I've got Illinois here. I just think their guard play is too versatile, and Houston has some issues scoring the ball. I like Houston because they play press court. They're going to try to put you in uncomfortable panic decisions, but I just think Illinois has too much poise. So I'm going to moving forward here, pushing Illinois forward. We've got Michigan and Tennessee, and I'm going to go Tennessee here. Tennessee's playing really well defensively. They're based on Ken Palm statistics, one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they've actually started to learn to score the ball this season. So I'm going to go Tennessee here.
Yeah, the improved scoring from them is huge. Tennessee, no problem.
Over Michigan?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Michigan. I know I'm going against my SEC guys, but I don't know. I just think it's a feeling that I have with Michigan coming in the tournament, having snuck in the way that they did, similar to what Ev said before, but they're a team that knows how to perform well in the tournament. They have several times before, and as long as nobody's getting punched, I feel pretty good about pretty good about Michigan getting through.
Yeah, Villanova, Loyola, Chicago. No Cinderella story here for me this year. I got Nova.
Nova.
Sorry, Sister Jean. Nova's prevailing on this one. All right, we got AZ, Illinois. Ev, kick this one off for us.
Zona. No trouble at all.
Yeah, I'm going Zona.
I'll go Zona as well. And then Tennessee, Villanova. I'm going to go Tennessee here.
I'm going Villanova.
My head liked the Vols, but the numbers likes the Cats in a very close one. So I'm going to take the Cats.
I mean, Villanova, haven't they played before? Didn't Villanova win by a lot? Am I remember that correctly? Misremember that?
That'd be good to know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think Villanova won by 18 against Tennessee last time they played.
Ev, validate this for us because this is a crucial statistic. But in the meantime, the pick has been made. I'm going to go AZ over Villanova for the Final Four out of the South.
Looks like Indiana's taken a 5 or 6 point lead into half, by the way.
Understood. Yeah, I might do it differently on my bracket. I got to think about this one a little bit, but for now, I'm going to lean Arizona over Villanova.
Villanova did slaughter Tennessee by 18 points in November. Good job, Cy.
Thank you.
Wow. Interesting.
That was so long ago, though.
That's impressive that you remember that. Jeez.
It could be a very different thing, but the only reason I have a recollection is just recent research, and also just it's an SEC matchup, so I always like to see how our conference fares. But on that one, I remember Villanova getting the best of them.
We pushed Zona through, right?
Yes, sir. We did.
All right,
who'd you have? That Zona over?
Yeah, yeah, I have Zona over Nova.
Okay, that might be one I change on my bracket. I don't know. Gonna have to see.
It's a tough one.
All right, so I started.
No, you might put Nova in the Final Four.
I might. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
You can be worse coaches to pick against.
That's for sure.
All right, where are we going here?
Starting at the top.
Kansas
for me.
I like Kansas this year. They usually are a real disappointment in the tournament, but my head says this year might be different.
Oh yeah, I mean they've got the player of the year. I mean he's an absolute stud shooting he kind of reminds me of Embiid to be honest. He's so agile and versatile, but he's huge down low. So yeah, I've got Kansas here as well. San Diego State, Creighton, two really good defensive teams. I personally lean San Diego State. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, and San Diego State's just gonna prevail.
Yeah, my data selected San Diego State as well.
Yeah, I'll go SDSU.
Although that was one I think I'd be the flip, but it doesn't matter. Iowa, Richmond, 12-5. Iowa is just playing so lights out right now. Yeah. And Richmond had to win their conference tournament to get in. They really didn't have that good of a year. So I kind of think this is an easy one.
I'm with you here. I'm going Iowa as well.
Yeah, me as well. We get the 4 seed Providence playing against South Dakota State. I've actually got South Dakota State here just because of the tray ball. They shoot well over 40%, and it's multiple people. Kind of reminds me of a Davidson team, just maybe not as good, but still good enough to beat Providence here.
Question with this one is, how much do we like Ken Pom? Because Ken Pom and Sagarin, they absolutely despise Providence. I did listen to an interview from them. I got a good vibe from their coach, but San Diego State here, if you've seen the spread on this, the spread is only like 2. So I've got the Jackrabbits.
I'm taking South Dakota State as well.
I said San Diego State. How did I screw that up? But yeah. Wow.
I didn't even notice that. But hey, Kuna, kick us off with this SEC here.
LSU. I know a lot of people are going to be on the whole Iowa State bandwagon, not bandwagon, but Iowa State wagon, because Iowa State obviously has been successful in the past. However, I think LSU they're both really good defensive teams that I don't think offer a ton on offense. However, I think LSU is the even better defense because they've beaten arguably better teams in a better conference with their defense. So for that reason, I'm not going to overthink this. I think LSU is going to win this.
I've got LSU as well.
I hate this matchup so much because what is LSU even playing for? Their coach just got fired right before the tournament, Will Wade. And Iowa State, they can't score the basketball. Sure, they're like a tough team, somehow found their way into the tournament, but they scored 36 points at home like a couple weeks ago. Like, my God, like, come on. Like, what is that? I'm going to go LSU, though.
My algorithm didn't factor in the coach getting canned before the tournament. That's a tough one to write in. But move on to 314 here. Wisconsin and Colgate. This is where the MR rankings got off the rails a little bit, but Wisconsin's another team that surprisingly the analytics hate, which kind of is surprising because Wisconsin typically a good tournament team, and then you add in a guy like Johnny Davis, just an elite guard that they typically don't have. So I would think that they'd be a team that can make a run, but the data likes Colgate. I overrid that one and gave it to Wisconsin, but just throwing that out there in case it happens.
Yeah, this isn't an overthinking one for me. I think Wisconsin wins this one.
I'm going to go Colgate, but I love the way Johnny plays.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to go Colgate here.
Dude, we might need to take the spread or something on Colgate if we both run on Colgate, Zach.
And I'm usually more of like a Crest fan than a Colgate fan, but I'm trusting Colgate on this one. I mean, if they can knock Wisconsin out, I will switch my brand right here on the spot. So so no more Crest for me. All right, Sag, kick us off USC Miami.
I'm about to start a Sensodyne University just to throw a wrench in your plans. I'll go ahead with Auburn in this one. Don't need to waste any time.
Yeah, we skipped USC Miami, but I do have Auburn as well.
sorry, my fault. I was skipping ahead of. I'll go USC, USC for that one. But actually, you know what? Let's go Miami. Why not? Let's go Miami because it doesn't matter. I got Auburn beating them.
I have USC.
Zach didn't kick up kid.
All right, so I've got in this matchup here, I've got Miami over USC. Wait, did you guys both pick USC?
I picked Miami.
All right, Kansas, San Diego State. I got Kansas, no problem.
Kansas.
Jayhawks. Let's go Bill Self.
I got Iowa. Okay.
We got to keep the rotation going. Kuna, you're next.
My apologies. I'll go Iowa. We've broken the rotation. It used to be Zach, then me, then Evan. So maybe that's why I'm confused.
Just speak up if it feels like you haven't gone in a while.
Yeah.
Obviously Iowa as well.
Iowa all around. LSU, Wisconsin. I don't personally have either of these guys coming out, but I'm gonna go Wisconsin based on the current play here.
I have LSU.
Oh boy, I'm torn. I'm gonna go Wisconsin.
I got Auburn, Miami 210. Down to bottom, I got Auburn, no problem there. Auburn's really, really good. Jabari Smith, best player in the tournament.
I got Auburn as well.
Yeah, Jabari Smith is lethal. All right, swinging it back up top here, we got KU going up against Iowa here. I've actually got Iowa. I think just Keegan Murray and company, their offensive talent. They actually play defense this year. Plus, they're hot from the tourney win in the Big Ten. I've got Iowa here.
Dude, Keegan Murray is a straight hooper, man. I watched the Big Ten championship. Some of the first ball I've seen of him this year. Man, that guy can play. I have Iowa to remain hot as well. So push him through.
Wow. Well, there goes my potential Final Two team, but I got Kansas. Wow, I was not expecting that. All right, fair enough. Respect.
I like Kansas size, almost a contrarian play, even though they're a 1 seed and a super stacked team. I like that side.
Yeah, I think Kansas very well could be my champions. There's a pretty solid chance that happens. So that's it. Respect. Respect. That's my pick. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with I lean Wisconsin Auburn in this one. I didn't see it. I'm gonna go Auburn. This is a boring bracket on my side, but I have Kansas versus Auburn.
I have Auburn as well.
Yeah, I'll go Auburn. They are so good with points in possession. It's just like another thing that happens. Just so typical at this point. But Auburn, they're just like their pace of play is so quick that oftentimes it just runs teams out the door. And in particular, this matchup right here between Iowa and Auburn, two teams that play very similar styles. I'm actually going to give the edge to Keegan Murray and company and push Iowa through.
I've got Auburn.
Wow.
Too good.
Wow. Well, if it comes down to Auburn versus Iowa, I'm taking Auburn.
Okay. All right. So this now brings us to our Final Four. Let me see if I can zoom out here. All right, here we go. So we got Gonzaga versus Kentucky. So I kick this one off here.
Oh boy, it's so hard one, man. I feel very good about Kentucky this year in the sense of how hot they've gotten, but it is extremely difficult for me to pick against Gonzaga given their consistency. So I'm really torn here. I'm gonna roll with Gonzaga. I got Gonzaga in this one.
Yeah, I actually saw here. I have Duke, Kentucky, and I have Duke winning that. But given the circumstances, I will go with Gonzaga. Hard to pick against them.
I'm going to go Gonzaga as well. And on the other side of things, you got Arizona, Auburn here. I'm going to go Arizona here. Arizona is just unbelievable.
Yeah, this is a great matchup. Benedict Mathurin, one of my favorite prospects this year. Absolute stud. 3-and-D wing. I got Arizona.
Man, This is where I would have had Kansas beating Arizona. But because that situation doesn't present itself, I'm actually going to go with the athleticism of Auburn to pull off the upset and beat Arizona here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Arizona just because of the variety of players they have, including, you know, a lot of scorer big guys down low on top of guys like Benedict from the outside. So I'm going to go Arizona, and this sets up a really interesting championship game because I personally do think these are the two best teams in college basketball this season. And maybe just to start it off, I think Gonzaga is going to be really close, but no cigar again. I've got Arizona winning this game.
Yeah, I think this is the national championship we all deserve. I would venture to guess that there's going to be a ton of brackets with these two in it at the end. I have Duke at this point, but I do have Arizona beating Duke to win the national championship. So I am going to have Arizona beating Gonzaga and Gonzaga falling a heartbreaking just short once again.
I actually think I'm going to have Kansas winning now that we've gotten this far, winning it all. So I'm going with one of the one seeds that isn't this two. But since I have to pick between the two, I'm actually going to go against both of you, and I'm going to go with Kansas. Or sorry, I'm going to go with Gonzaga on this one.
What's so funny is last year, right around this time, we kept pushing UNC further and further, and I believe they actually made it to the championship game. We didn't have them winning the championship, but UNC we either had in our Final Four or our Final Two, and they got bounced first round. So I'm hoping that this bracket is a little bit more conservative, and I think these are the right choices here, boys.
I am a little concerned. I'm a little concerned with this being a bit boring in the sense of how it goes. However, in our defense, for anyone viewing this, when it's three people picking together, you're not going to get as many upsets because usually more often than not, two people aren't going to pick the more dramatic upset. So that is probably why you see this bracket not having as many crazy Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four teams as you might see in our respective ones. I request that anybody that looks at bracketology picks more with their heart, because at the end of the day, you can do as much analysis as you want. However, we know it's a crapshoot, and it's just as likely Mrs. Bakulik or Mrs. Maroney or Mrs. Kunamnani will win this as one of us will, but it's always a fun experiment to run nonetheless. So always a pleasure, gentlemen.
All right, boys, I'm going to submit the picks. And we're
Cats. Go Cats.
Congrats, boys. Congrats.
Go Wildcats, baby. I'm going to have to root for Arizona this year.
All right. Well, wish you all best on your individual March Madness brackets, and everyone listening, appreciate the support as always. Subscribe on YouTube, check us out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Look out for some probably free agency content and then some MLB content probably in the next 2 episodes. You guys want to sign us off?
Kuna, you got it.
All right, I guess I'll take it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's the best time of the year. March Madness, NFL free agency, NFL draft coming up, NBA, MLB, opening day, all that coming up. We have tons of content coming your way. So please check us out on Spotify. Please check us out on YouTube. Please be ready for us to continue to develop upon this podcast that we've been putting our heart and our energy into, and we're very excited for the product coming forward. So as always, thank you guys for your support, and that was Mondays Down South.
Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take